Hi, welcome to Darren in the studio. Obviously, I'm not in the studio today. Sat in my van. Today is such a sad day. As you all know, I'm a massive Kiss fan. I've been since I was about 8 years old, and which unfortunately is a long time ago now. I woke up this morning and Marina told me that she'd just seen on the news, on the Facebook feed, that Ace Frehley had died. And it was like someone was telling me, it was like she was telling me that, you know, a really close friend, maybe a member of the family, had died. I don't know. To think of Ace Frehley as in the past tense and someone that's no longer with us, in physical form anyway, is really difficult to get a handle on. And, you know, just as a Kiss fan who loves all the eras of Kiss and all the members, and, you know, I've loved Kiss, like I said, since I was about 8 years old. And the fact that, you know, one of the original four has now gone is really, really upsetting. The fact that Peter Criss was with him at the end is also not only upsetting, but it's also beautiful. You know, I know Ace and Peter were sort of like, you know, the bad boys of the band, really, and shared so many things together on tour and whatnot, and even outside of Kiss. So it was nice to hear that Peter was there. I understand that, my understanding of it is that Ace had a fall at home and hadn't been well since, but had developed a bleed on the brain and he had to go into intensive care and ended up on life support. And they obviously made the really difficult decision that to let him go. You know, Kiss for me, especially when I was young, when I first discovered them in, I don't know, 78, 79, something like that. The first album I ever heard of Kiss was Kiss Alive 2. And it ticked all the boxes for me. Because I was really into like the Hulk and Spider-Man and characters and things like that, you know. And even at that early age, I was sort of like Dracula and all these kind of things. And Kiss was part of all that. You know, they were much more than just a rock band. They were much more than musicians. They were much more than singer-songwriters. You know, they were something that everybody else wasn't. You know, they were four characters. They were superheroes. You know, and you know, to you know, a young Darren as 8 or 9 years old, and even when I got older, you know, well into my teens, and even now, really, you know, I still see them as larger than life, and you know, those characters are they're just massive, aren't they? You know, you see them as being superhuman and immortal. And the fact that we'll never see Ace again, you know, in the physical sense is a really tough one. You know, we lost Ozzy not that long ago, and I made a video about Ozzy saying how difficult it was and how, you know, how important he was, and not just to me as a music fan, but, you know, to the world. And Ace Frehley is well up there. For me, this hurts more than the Ozzy one because, you know, I wasn't a completist when it came to Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne, but I am a completist when it comes to Kiss. I've got all Ace Frehley's solo work. You know, I've got all the Kiss albums. You know, the dolls, the toys, the books, the games. And to know that he's gone is really difficult. Some of you might know that I'm in a Kiss tribute act called Counterfeit Kiss with my brother Sean, and of course we've grown up with Kiss since those early years, first finding them in the late 70s. And Counterfeit Kiss is just me and Sean. We just do it as Gene and Paul. And we've never had an Ace Frehley, we've never had a Peter Criss. There's reasons for it, I won't go into it with this video. But, you know, we do shows around the UK. We've got a show tonight in Uttoxeter, and if you're around the Old Star area, that's where we're going to be tonight. And tonight's show is going to be difficult. Tonight's show is going to be difficult. But we are going to go ahead with the show, and more so, I think, because we're going to celebrate a life well lived and a life that Ace Frehley can be immortal, I suppose, when you've got all this music that'll always be around. You become immortal, I suppose. So to all the other Kiss fans that are watching this video, you know, of course we send our sincere and humble condolences to the Frehley family, Ace's daughter Monique, Jeanette, of course, his very close friends, bandmates, but also I'd like to just send my condolences to the other Kiss fans around the world that are feeling the way I feel today. And things will never be the same now. I know we've lost Eric Carr and we lost Mark St. John. But with Ace, with one of the 4 original members going, it's really difficult. It's different. And like I said, we're going to be doing the show tonight in memory of Ace. And the fact that he's gone is really, really difficult. I did a video about Ace's latest album, 10,000 Volts, on this channel. It's one of the most popular videos, actually. And Ace actually gave it a like, which was really weird. I thought it was a you know, like a hoax one, but it wasn't. Apparently it was. I looked deep into it and sort of traced it back, and it was Ace. It came from Ace's camp, if you like. Whether Ace actually did it officially, but it definitely came from Ace's camp, which is really nice. So check that video out if you get a chance. So today being the 17th of October 2025, a very sad day, not only in the world of Kiss, but, you know, the world of rock music in general. We most certainly say rock in peace. I hope he's on an eternal rocket ride. and popping back home to Gendel at some point, no doubt. This is coming with us tonight. I don't usually take stuff from my personal collection to gigs and stuff, but I'm going to take this tonight. My little bust of Ace Frehley. He's going to sit on the mixing desk, and yeah, we'll do the show for him tonight. We'll see you in a bit.